Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Courtney, and my channel is all about connecting with crystals, learning about their metaphysical benefits, and really just becoming aware of this unique energy that's available to all of us. So welcome and thank you for joining me. Today's video is kind of a requested video. I keep seeing you guys ask, how do you really connect with your crystals? How do you use your crystals? I feel like this kind of goes hand in hand, so I thought for today's video, I will be explaining this. So I'm going to be explaining how I have really grown and connected with my crystals over the years, and hopefully give you guys some easy, practical ways to help you connect with your crystals. Alrighty, so let's dive into today's video. Alrighty, so the chances are if you search this that you have just got some crystals and you really want to learn how you can connect with them or how you can use them. Or possibly maybe you already have some crystals and you're just not really feeling that strong connection and you need a little bit of help. I feel like with the rise of crystals, it's becoming more popular nowadays. I feel like there is kind of like this pressure that you need to have like this crazy experience or something needs to happen right away. And to be honest, that really wasn't the case for me when I first started getting into crystals. Everyone has their own unique energy, and therefore everyone's going to experience things in different ways. There really should be no pressure on you at all or any self-doubt when you are working with crystal energy. The most important and main aspect when working with crystals is that you have to be completely open in this process. You have to believe that something is going to happen organically in time. It's this trust and positive outlook that if you don't possess those things, if you don't believe it, if you are second guessing it, then the crystals are 100% not going to work with you because you are blocking their energy. So that's just definitely the first thing I wanted to talk about before getting into this video. So now let's go ahead and jump into some fun practices that you can use to connect and use your crystals. One thing that I think gets overlooked when, working with crystals is, setting an intention with your crystal. I think this is so important to do right when you get a new crystal because you really want to assign that crystal a job so that it can work for you and sync up with you. I have a whole video on how to set intentions with crystals, and I explain how you can do this correctly. It's super helpful, so definitely check out that video if you want to learn how to set an intention for your crystal. Crystals can really help in that whole manifestation process. So really, getting a crystal, setting an intention, and then if you want to do some manifestation work, this is a really great way to help amplify that energy. So for example, let's say you have a clear quartz and you gave it an intention. When you feel like you want to do a manifestation technique, grabbing that clear quartz and doing your manifestation technique with your crystal is really, really going to amplify that energy. Another way to connect and use your crystals is to meditate with them. So this is definitely like a physical touch element. I believe that physical touch can definitely help you sense and really get a connection going with your crystal. Having crystals on your body, having them touch your body while you're meditating, or even holding a crystal in your hand. I would say your left hand is better for receiving energy, or really just your non-dominant hand. When you're just starting out, meditating with crystals, it can feel a little awkward if you're not used to that, placing a stone on your body. If you want, you can associate this stone with the chakra that it's associated to, or if you feel comfortable just always placing stones like on your chest, if that's like your area where you want to just focus and have that crystal on your body, that's totally fine too. You really just want to do whatever feels right for you, whatever feels comfortable. You definitely want to go that route. I started meditating with my crystals about a year into working with crystals. So, I didn't really meditate with them until I felt called to. And, once I started to incorporate crystals in my meditations, it was really crazy because I did feel like I was getting a stronger connection to the crystals. And also my meditations became way more deeper and I felt like I was really getting to a higher consciousness. Practice is really key in this method. Some people can, have crystals with them when they're meditating and instantly have, an experience. But like I said, everyone's energy is different. Everyone has different, experiences, and it really shouldn't be rushed. So really practice and patience is a key aspect when you are meditating with your crystals. One of my personal favorite ways to really use and connect with crystals is making crystal grids. I have a whole video on how to make a crystal grid if you're interested in learning. I go into detail how I create crystal grids in that video, so I'll definitely link it if you're interested. But crystal grids are really all about calling in an energy that's primarily done in your home. So the crystal grid, you want to make it in a safe, undisturbed area in your home. And I feel like this is definitely a way to see how your energy or space reacts to the intention you set with the grid. Leaving it out for however long you choose, it's kind of just a way for you to see, how things shift. You kind of put all the time, energy, effort into creating the grid in the beginning, and then you kind of just let it do its thing. It works its magic for you. I love creating crystal grids every month, and just seeing it every day, it just brings me right back to that intention, and I just love the energy that, comes from the grid. Which brings me to my next method, leaving crystals out where you're gonna see them every day. So this is definitely a visual aspect. So like with the crystal grid, you can intentionally put crystals in certain areas in your home where you wanna feel that vibration, you wanna see, that crystal, and it brings you back to, why it's there. So really you can do some research and, consciously pick stones that you wanna work with in specific rooms. So maybe you want to have some calming stones in your bedroom. Maybe you want some mental enhancement stones in your office. You can really pick stones with purpose and use that crystal energy to your advantage. I think it's a really fun way to really, really experiment with the energy in your home. I love having crystals in every single spot in my apartment because it really does help make the energy feel really good. So for this next example, I think it's super, super helpful when you kind of find a crystal that you really connect with, you love it, you think it's beautiful, you just are so attracted to it. A fun way to really connect with that crystal is by getting crystal jewelry. I personally feel finding that stone that you're really connecting with and then, wearing it, having it be a piece of jewelry, it really helps sync up your energy with that crystal energy. It's almost like you form this bond with your crystal. And then just wearing it consistently, you may notice your energy shift, or I don't know, you just kind of can sense something different. A fun experiment, if you wanted to see if you do feel anything different, you could take off that jewelry and see if there is a difference when you're not wearing it. You can really bond and have that, touch aspect. You're with that crystal 24/7. You can really experiment and see how you feel when you're wearing crystal jewelry. And the last method I'm going to be talking about is making crystal elixirs. So I personally love to do this with my juices. I would say this is definitely a popular way to really connect with your crystals. I like to use my crystals in my juices because I like to pick stones that are really detoxifying, that are healing, that are grounding. But I really want to say right from the beginning, when you do any kind of crystal elixirs, you really want to have safety be the first priority when you are doing this. So personally, what I like to do when I make my juices is I'll make my juice and then I'll pick the stones that I want to charge up my juice with. And I just simply place the stone next to the glass and I leave it in the fridge overnight. So it'll charge for 10 to 12 hours. Sometimes I'll even put the stone on top of the lid of the glass bottle and have it charged that way. But you do want to be really careful, because if you are putting your stones inside, the drink that you're going to drink, you want to make sure that that's safe, because some crystals you cannot have in water. They'll for example, selenite, you don't want to drink the water of a dissolved crystal. It's not good. You don't want anything bad to happen. So definitely be very cautious when you are making crystal elixirs. Be mindful that it's safe when you make your crystal elixirs. To wrap up this video, like I said at the very beginning, when I first started working with crystals, there definitely wasn't like this huge, crazy experience I had. It wasn't like I connected immediately with my crystals. It definitely took time, although that can happen for a lot of people. That happens right away. But for me personally, that really wasn't the case. I think using crystals every day is a great way to really build that connection to your crystals, but really also just having the belief that you know that you are building a stronger connection every day is really, really key. If I were to look at, the last 4 years and track my progress with working with crystals, I would definitely say that first year when I first started getting into crystals, I really was just absorbing and learning so much information about crystals. I was just like a sponge, and I was like obsessed with like learning, and I was doing, cross-referencing what I was learning. I was seeing what really resonated with me. That first year I was really just learning. And then as I, kept learning, I was gaining this confidence with crystals. I was becoming more confident in what I was doing. So for example, if you're charging up your crystals with your juices overnight, and maybe your roommate or your parents or your boyfriend are like, "What are you doing? Why are there crystals touching this water?" or whatever you're doing. It's like having that confidence and knowing like, oh yeah, I'm making a crystal elixir. Like, it's just like this confidence, like you're not second guessing the work you're doing. You're just like, oh yeah, this is like what I'm doing. I enjoy this. So, you do kind of, as you're evolving, as you're working with crystals, you build up this confidence, and then eventually you really do some more experimentation. So, you might be wearing crystals, doing crystal jewelry. You might start meditating more with crystals. You can, start using crystals for manifestation techniques. It's just like this thing that slowly, builds up. I really feel like the more you practice with crystals, the more receptive you become to that crystal energy. Over the years working with crystals, it's just been progressively getting a stronger connection. And honestly, that just takes practice and patience, and really just believing that you are gaining, a connection. You have to believe it. Alrighty guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope this video gave you guys some insight on how to connect and use your crystals. If you are really, interested in learning about crystals and connecting with them, I will say that is really what my channel is all about. So, if you want to keep learning and keep finding out about this amazing energy, I definitely recommend subscribing to my channel. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys in my next one.